Welcome fight fans to my channel. This is Johnny, and today we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning 23-year-old rising prospect, Brian Norman Jr. Guys, you'd be apologized if you didn't see this fight this past weekend. There were a few huge fights. Obviously, the main one was the undisputed heavyweight clash between Usyk and Fury, but Top Rank threw a nice little interim welterweight title at Pechanga Casino and Resort in America between Gio Santillan and Brian Norman Jr. This fight was all about Gio. Gio was fighting in his hometown. He was the favorite. He was the undefeated number 4th ranked welterweight in the world. And in steps 23-year-old from Georgia, Brian Norman Jr. The fascinating thing about Brian Norman Jr. is before this fight, he gave an interview to The Ring magazine when asked about his work ethic and his mindset going into the fight against Santillan, where he was an underdog in his opponent's hometown. And he said, "I'm going into this fight like it's the fight of my life. I have bills to pay, I have a family, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put on the performance of my career during this fight." And sure enough, if you tuned in, if you saw highlights, he did just that. This was a back and forth affair. By no means was this one-sided. This fight took place pretty much in the pocket the entire time. Both guys gave as well as they got, and it literally came down to a matter of wills. In the 10th round, Brian Norman Jr. catches Santillan with a gorgeous uppercut and drops him, and Santillan, the brave warrior that he is, battles back, somehow gets to his feet, only to be dropped again, but this time by a left uppercut. And right before our eyes, we have a new prospect and a new interim champion at welterweight. So today I want to do a video and educate, remind, and talk a little bit about who Brian Norman Jr., the assassin, is. Brian Norman Jr. is 26-0 with 20 knockouts. He has a career 77% knockout to win ratio. He's currently ranked number 9 in the world in the welterweight division. The 23-year-old is an orthodox fighter standing at 5'8" with a 72-inch reach. He is from Georgia in the United States, and his adoring fans call him the Assassin. This past weekend, he took on Giovanni Santillan and knocked him out in the 10th round, took Santillan's O. Giovanni was 32-0 going into that fight. The fight before that, he fought Figueroa, who was 17-2. This fight was deemed a no contest due to both fighters having gnarly gashes. Then he took on Quentin Randall, who was also undefeated, UD in the 10th. Jesus Campo, 24-4, UD in the 8th. Rodrigo Correa, 10-4, UD in the 8th. Guys, Brian Norman Jr. is a young prospect in a division with rich in talent. Like I said, going into the weekend, I wouldn't blame anybody if you had never heard of him, but Top Rank now is putting a lot behind him. He wasn't supposed to win the fight. Gio was their guy, and this is what makes boxing such a great sport. Every now and then, you have a contender who comes out of nowhere, a young, hungry guy who says before the fight what he wants to do and then actually backs it up. He has an exciting style. He's young, gritty, and he's undefeated, and he goes in there looking for the knockout. We're gonna keep an eye on him whenever updates come along about his upcoming fight or any such fight news on Brian Norman Jr. I'll put it up here. If you want me to feature any other contenders or prospects on the channel, leave those in the comments section below. Also, let me know if you watched that Gio Santillan fight versus Brian Norman Jr., what you thought of it. I know some Gio fans were saying they didn't like how Norman handled himself after the knockdown. The last one, he kind of posed on him and he did that standing on business picture. Look, it's the blood sport, it's the fight game. I don't mind a little showboating, I don't. If you're gonna back it up, let me know what you think. Leave it all in the comment section below.